And when I say settle down, I mean in terms of all the changes that are happening, okay. In terms of all the changes that are happening, all the uncertainties that's going on in the job market, I'm sure you must have seen the news. Lots of roles are being automated. You're hearing about AI. You're seeing how people are applying AI in their roles, in their companies, in their workflows, and how they're making things faster. And this has created a lot of uncertainty in the job market. Entire industries are being rebuilt around two things: AI and data. And the reality is that the people who understand how to ride this wave, these people are the ones who are going to experience what I would call a career jump. This is a career jump that used to take other people decades to accomplish. But now, today, thanks to AI, thanks to the amount of information that we have online, it now takes people months to transition. You only have to be in a headspace where you are ready to actually listen. You are committed to learning, and it is entirely possible for you. Now, I want you to think about this. 2022, between 2022 to 2023, this was the year that AI went mainstream. And before that, companies were silently hiring experts and engineers to develop these AI models. I'm sure we must have heard about ChatGPT in 2023, but prior to that, it was in development for years. And then 2024, this was the year that companies began to experiment with the tools that these AI pioneers had built. So some people said, this is entirely possible, that we can experience this in our lifetime. And then they made a huge investment. They went out and they built smart model. But then when you build a smart model and it revolutionizes the entire world, industries, and now everyone starts to use AI in their workflow, that also creates another opportunity, not just for people who develop these models, but for people who can actually use these tools. And now in 2025, this year, forward-thinking companies have accelerated hiring. Now they're looking at hiring AI professionals, data professionals. And 2026 is the year that everything will scale. And now the question I want you to keep in mind as we go on is, will I be ready when this wave hits full speed? Because as a matter of fact, it's already started. In the next 12 months, the people who are going to be winning in the job market, in the career market, they're not going to be the ones who know the most about AI. I'm sure that if I ask the question now, does everyone here know AI? Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you probably have played around, you've experimented with Gemini, with maybe Claude, with ChatGPT. You know, you're seeing the cool pictures that are going around. But when I tell you, it is so much more than that. People are using AI tools to make money, to solve problems, and to make themselves so good that they are impossible to ignore in the job market. So what we're going to be learning in today's masterclass is positioning. How do you position yourself to be a winner in this ever-changing world? What do you need to get there? And how exactly can 10 Analytics business support you in that journey? I'm going to be sharing a lot of interesting information today, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. My team is going to be dropping an attendance form in the chat section. So please fill it out so you can get the replay to this in case you miss anything that we say here. We also share bonus resources and other exclusive materials that we don't share anywhere else unless you're in our mailing list. So that's not something you want to miss. Another thing is, if you have a friend, you know, maybe your sister, maybe even your mother or your father, you know, but someone who is smart, who is ambitious, someone who is enthusiastic about AI, I would love if you could share the link to this webinar with them right now, because this could be the most valuable thing that you share with them all year. Now, one more thing before I show you how 10 Analytics can support you in your AI and data journey. Just some housekeeping before we move forward. I would love if you could share your name and where you're joining us from. Let's get to know each other better. For example, you could say, I'm Bolade from Dubai, I'm Ken from Lagos, and so on. It would be amazing to see the diversity that is being represented in the house today. So please drop your name, your location. Let's get to know each other better. Okay. I'm not seeing anything coming in yet. Are we here? Fantastic. Blessing. Okay. My name is Splendor from Ebonyi State, Nigeria. Ahmad. Okay. From Kefi, Nasarawa. Deye from Australia. Wise from Abuja. Joshua from Kano. Charles from Abeokuta. Amazing. Mike from Abuja, interesting. It's my pleasure to meet everyone here. Thank you for joining us today. And another thing I would love for you to keep in mind is how something like this was impossible years ago. A decade ago, it was literally impossible for you to do this. 2 decades ago, who could have dreamed of it? But now we're seeing people in the room from different parts of the country, different parts of the world. And that's how amazing and innovative AI and data is. And isn't this something that we would love to be part of the team that is building something so innovative that it revolutionizes an entire industry? So I'm sure you want to know how 10 Analytics business can support and position you in the job market. And you're probably wondering, what is 10 Analytics business all about? Well, we have a tangible, proven track record of launching high-value careers around the world. We've successfully placed over 3,000 people into their first tech roles since we started just over 5 years ago. And I don't mean just locally. I'm talking about professionals who are building their lives with companies in the UK, in US, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Kenya, in Germany, all around the world. And the most important part of this is their success stories. It wasn't because they had a tech background. Many of them, this was when they joined 10 Analytics, it was their first exposure to tech. Some of them worked in care, some of them worked in construction. However, we were able to take them from where they were to where they needed to be so they could position themselves in the market. We had teachers who mastered data, accountants who became automation specialists, civil engineers, stay-at-home parents who decided to rewrite their professional story. So wherever it is that you're joining us from, whatever your current industry is, I want you to keep in mind as we go forward that it is 100% possible for you. The only limit to what you can accomplish is your imagination, is your level of dedication, it's your commitment. So one thing that we have to look at here is what is the common factor between all these people from different parts of the world who have achieved the same results with 10 Analytics. And when I talk about results, I mean either you get a job, a very good job in a high paying role, or you're able to build an agency of your dreams. How is it that all of these people came into 10 Analytics business and they all left with these amazing stories? The one thing they had in common is they were not satisfied with the status quo. They wanted more. And what we did was we provided the blueprint for them to get there. And today we have taken this same results-driven engine, the same one that we've used to transform thousands of careers, that we've built and perfected over 5 years, and we've scaled it for the world's most forward-thinking organizations and individuals. Our business arm has also partnered with companies like MTN, like Fair Money, like Kuda, like AfriInvest and others, and we work directly with them to future-proof their most important assets, the people. People just like you. So whether you're an individual watching this, and you're ready to take absolute control of your career trajectory, or maybe you represent a company and you need to elevate your entire team's capability, that bridge has already been built by 10 Analytics. And for the past 5 years, over 5 years, what we've done is to scale our success from individual to enterprise. That is our number one mission. Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, who is this person, Lola, and why is she qualified to talk to me about my career path in AI? How can I sit here and tell you that 2026 is the best time for you to get into this career? That's because my entire career has been about one thing: building systems that scale success. And the foundation of it is being able to identify opportunities. For over a decade, I have designed and engineered solutions across SaaS, fintech, and e-commerce. I've built them from the ground up in different continents, African and European markets. And I haven't just studied these market shifts. I have lived it. I've been in the trenches and have built the engines that drive growth. I've worked as head of operations for a fintech. I've worked as head of product growth for e-commerce, as a COO in a CX company, and now, as the VP of Ops and Execution at Analytics, my number one goal is to architect the systems that not just teach you tech skills, but systematically transform ambitious potential learners just like yourself, into high demand, global competitive professionals. And I believe that's why you're here with us today. So every strategy that I share with you is designed to drive results for you too, shatter ceilings and open direct pathways for your tech talents to shine on the global stage. Because that's one of the biggest questions, right? After I learned this, what exactly sets me apart? And I'm sure that on your journey to analytics business, you must have come across some very interesting competitors and their very interesting offerings. But then again, it's one thing for you to learn the skill. It's another thing entirely for you to position yourself in the market. So before we go any further, let's get crystal clear on what you're going to be walking away with today. The first thing is you're going to know exactly where and how to find high-paying remote AI and data jobs. And I'm talking about moving beyond generic job boards. When you ask people, are you looking for a job? Have you tried? What comes into your mind? LinkedIn. Have you tried? What's the next thing that comes into your mind? Indeed. So we're going to be moving past these generic job boards. I'm going to show you a hidden market that maybe you know of or maybe you do not know of, but the combination is what makes it truly stand out. And again, I'm also going to show you specific roles that companies are desperately trying to fill so that you can start to strategize how exactly do I become one of the people who is taking advantage of this unique opportunity in the market. Now, the second thing is you're going to leave here with a clear blueprint on how you can move from learning AI to actually getting paid for it. We're going to demystify the exact path. I'm talking about from acquiring the skills. Well, that's one level, then to building a killer portfolio, because having the skills and being able to showcase the skills are two completely different things. And then finally, to landing the first client or job offer, depending on what exactly you're looking for. And third, but not least, I'm going to show you exactly how to bridge the final critical gap, which is how exactly can 10 Analytics help me? You're going to be bridging that gap with 10 Analytics business, and we're going to support you, like I mentioned earlier, in this journey to achieve everything that you have set out to accomplish in 2026, starting now. Now, to make this as relevant as possible for you, I have a quick question for the room, and I would love this to be an interactive class. I would like you to type just one word into the chat right now. I'm going to explain what I want you to do, the exercise I want us to take together. What is the biggest question on your mind right now when you think about starting an AI or data career? Is it experience? Is it portfolio? Or is it interviews? Just one word. So to explain, experience is, I've never done this before. I don't think I have the skills for it. And then portfolio is, I've done this. I have the skills, but I don't know how to package myself in the market. Maybe you've tried sending out a bunch of resumes or applications and no one is responding. That's portfolio. Or is it the interview aspect? Because being able to talk about what you've done is not easy for a lot of people. You get into these rooms and sometimes you just freeze. So is it the experience aspect? Is it the portfolio aspect? Or is it the interview aspect? I'd love to know what your challenges are. Interesting. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of experience here from Jeremiah, from Charles, from Celestine, Ayomide. Okay, Monday said experience. Okay, interesting. Dotun said portfolio. Felix said experience and portfolio. Joseph said portfolio. Ifeoluwa said experience. So what we're seeing here is mainly experience and portfolio, right? And I guess you have to get through the path of experience and portfolio before you even make it to the interviews. So that's fine. Keep that in mind, because by the end of our time together, you're going to have all of these answers. Now, most people that I talk to would say something like, I'm waiting to see how this AI thing plays out. Or, data is really cool, but it's kind of complicated. I don't think everybody has to know how to use it. Look at this screen. What you can see right now here, this is a robot. This is a robot model here. This is a robot model, and this is a warehouse. This is not a human worker. This is an AI-powered robot that is managing inventory. It's optimizing routes. It's doing the job that used to require 5 people, 10 people. Now, all that job requires is a code. Today, Amazon has over 750,000 robots working alongside humans right now. And this is not in 2026. I'm not talking about 2027. I'm not talking about a projection. I'm talking about what is happening right now, today. Shopify currently uses AI to automate 80% of their customer service responses. That's happening right now, today. Companies like McKinsey, like Deloitte, they're using AI to analyze their data, to generate reports and make strategic decisions in hours. And this is stuff that used to take weeks, and they're running it right now. They found a way to use AI to automate their processes, to make it faster. So when people are like, when do I start preparing? I have a lot to do. I'm very busy. I have to take care of, I have school, I have other stuff that I'm doing. I have work. And the thing is that the market is not going to wait for you. If you're not preparing for the future, you are catching up to the present, because this is happening in real time. I always say this to people: AI is not something that's in the future. The automations are already here. And if you do not stay relevant, everything that you do, your current processes, the job that you love so much, you're going to be automated out of existence. Not to scare anyone. I'm saying this because there's a massive opportunity that is hiding in plain sight. You see, while AI is already here, the people who know how to work with it, they're not. I mean, they are, but then there's still a lot of space in the market. It's the kind of term where I would say the sky is big enough, but then you have to get in early so you can own as much airspace as you can. There's a lot of massive opportunity, again, that is just hiding there. It's in plain sight, and it's waiting for people who can take control. Companies already have the technology, right? They can afford it. But what they don't have is the people behind it, because even though AI is amazing and it cuts out a lot of manual processes, it still needs the people behind it. People who can build the systems, people who can analyze the data, people who can automate the workflows, people who can train the models, people who can translate AI outputs into business strategy. Because if there's one thing that AI is not replacing anytime soon, it's the human aspects, the human spirit. And when you're able to merge that successfully with AI, that is a perfect marriage. And in reality, this is the gold rush of this century, of 2026, of right now. And we're standing at the beginning of it. You have a unique opportunity to get in on something that will change your entire life for the better. But now, Here is where timing becomes everything. Right now, we are in October 2025. And what is happening is that companies are closing their books for the year. They are literally executives sitting in boardrooms right now doing exactly two things. Number one is they're saying, yeah, you know what? These are roles that we're going to fill out this year. So let's finalize our budgets. Let's just wrap up for 2025. And I'm saying that because that's literally what we're doing right now in analytics. And then what they're also doing is they're planning headcount for Q1 2026. They're asking themselves, how many data analysts do we need? How many AI automation specialists do we need? So here's something very interesting about the job market. It's usually driven by competition with your competitors. When you look at how well your competition is doing, and something very basic and clear is maybe your competition has 200,000 followers on Instagram or on TikTok, and you have, even though you guys are offering the same thing, you have a very unique USP that sets you apart in the market, a unique selling point, very, very unique. However, you only have 10K. Then you would go back and say, hey, what are we doing wrong? And then that's when you would analyze your competition strategy. Is it their marketing? Is it what talents do they have? And in many cases, especially today, you would find that it's usually AI. They found a way to automate their processes. Now that's driving their revenue up. They're saving more money and they can spend much more money on marketing. So now what the companies would say is, hey, how can we do that? How can we make our own processes faster? How can we get ahead of the market? And that is where people like you potentially come in. They're going to be asking, how many business analysts do we need so that we can translate our data into a strategy and meet our revenue goal for 2026? It is all about beating the market, about remaining relevant in the market. And here's one thing that you need to understand. These decisions, they are being made right now. The job postings for roles are going to go out in 2026. They've already been drafted. And off the top of my head right now, I can tell you just how many roles we're hiring for in 2026 in analytics and exactly when we're going to start hiring for this role. So this is a conversation that is actively ongoing in companies. And if we have any HR in the house, I know that you guys understand exactly what I'm saying. So what this means is that the people who are going to win in this market are people who are not just starting their learning journey in January, because then you'd be months behind people who actually started today or people who even started 6 months ago. The people who are going to be winning are the people who are ready in January. I'm going to say that again. The people who are going to be winning are the people who are ready in January. The ones who spent October, November, and December building the exact skills that companies are budgeting for right now. Now, most people actually think that, getting a job is all about your certificate, it's all about your degree, and it used to be about that 20 years ago, in the days of our parents, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Nobody cares about that right now. The only thing people care about, or that companies, organizations care about, are your skills and your experience. Companies do not hire for certificates, they hire for proof. They want to know that they are making an investment in a talent that can change the operations of their company. They want to know that your talent, your skill is worth the investment. This is what they are hiring you for, not the fancy school that you went to, not the fancy certificate that you have in your Google folder. Nobody cares about that. They want to see that you can take messy data and turn it into insights, that you can automate a workflow and save them 20 hours a week, that you can build a dashboard that helps them make $1 million decisions. And I can actually just box that into one word: value. They want to know that you are worth it, that you actually have the value. So in other words, skills plus experience equals job, not certificates plus hope, equals job. not I watch some YouTube videos equals job. It is your skills and your experience that equals the job. That is the unique formula to make it in this market. Now, I'm going to show you when we go forward exactly how you can accomplish this in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days, 90 days, depending on just how committed to this mission you are. Now, the first step is that you actually have to acquire skills in careers that guarantee you a job. And I'm not talking about just any skills. There are lots of skills right now out there in the market. I'm not talking about skills that are trending right now. I'm talking about in-demand skills that is backed by global labor market data. Now, according to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025 edition, do you know what the fastest growing roles are? I'm going to be walking you through this, but this is something that you want to be looking at. This is a report that you always want to keep an eye on if you're serious about the market. Now, what they've done is that they have analyzed the trends in the market. They have analyzed the opportunities in the market. They have predicted what the future is going to look like based off innovations, based off automations, based off all of these amazing changes that we're seeing in the job market. And they're saying, these are the jobs that are going to be relevant in the next couple of years. And trust me, you don't want to be on the other side, because if you're putting your all into a career path, in the next 5 years, it's just going to be automated away, then it's clear that you really need an analytics business. Now, everything boils down to two core skill stack. I'm going to walk you through the reports in the World Economic Forum, but the jobs that are leading right now in the market: data analysts and scientists, AI and machine learning, information security analysts, process automation specialists. And when you look at them, it all comes down to two things: your data skills, and this is the ability to clean, to analyze, to visualize, and extract insights from data. And then it also comes down as well to AI skills, which is the ability to use AI tools to automate, optimize, and scale business processes. So this is whatever it is that you're doing, in whatever career path that you're in. If you're able to apply data, if you're able to apply AI in it to automate your processes, to do things faster, to take your revenue from 200,000 to 500,000, and then from 500,000 to 10 million, for example, then you've got something really amazing. But that is all about the skills. And here is a beautiful part: you do not have to master everything. You don't have to, know every single thing. All you have to do is just master the intersection of what companies need and then what you can prove that you can do. If you look at the current trends in the market right now, what exactly do companies need? And I will just boil it down to one thing: every company wants to scale. Every company wants to make more money. So when you're learning your data skills, your AI skills, you're thinking, I'm going to apply this in a way that would help this company drive revenue. That is the gold mine in this unique career path. Well, I wouldn't call it unique anymore, because since everyone here has plans of getting into data and AI, I'm sure that very soon this will be the norm, right? So if you agree with me that you're going to be one of those who takes the AI and data market by storm in 2026, send a yes to the chat. I mean, we still have a long way to go. We still have a couple of minutes left in our presentation, so don't worry, I'm still going to be showing you more data. But if you're already pumped up and you're ready to take advantage of all of these skills, and you just need me to give you a roadmap, to share the blueprint with you and show you the way, send a yes into the chat. And it's fine if you do not agree, feel free to send a no, so I know the people that we are going to focus on. Fantastic, I'm seeing a lot of yes in the chat section. Makes me really happy. Okay, Celeste, I'm seeing Damilola, Israel. I mean, we're getting a lot of yes. No yet. Well, that's a good one. It means I haven't lost anyone yet. Fantastic. So how do you know that everything I'm telling you is not just hype? Like, I would literally just be sitting here and be hyping you. How do you know it's not hype? Let me show you something that comes directly from the World Economic Forum report. And now, another thing This is one reason why you should fill out the attendance form so you can gain access to this presentation, because my colleagues will be sharing it with you just in case you miss anything. And you can take your time, you can look through the data, you can check out everything here, you can gain access to the World Economic Forum if you need it, and make up your mind about it. So please fill out the attendance form. Now, this is going to eliminate any doubt if you still have any left. And like I said before, this is not just some data from like a tech blogger or so like from YouTube podcast or whatever. This is a World Economic Forum report, and this is the same report that Fortune 500 CEOs and governments used to plan their workforce strategy. So if you base your strategy for 2026 off this roadmap, you can't miss the mark. So I want you to look at the fastest growing jobs between 2025 and 2030. I'm talking big data specialists. I'm talking fintech engineers. I'm talking AI machine learning specialists, data analyst and scientists, DevOps engineer, data warehousing specialist. These are fastest growing jobs. Do you see a pattern here? I'm just going to go forward and show you some more. Right? We're looking at database and network professionals. Under HR, we're looking at organizational development specialists. We're looking at roles like management and organization analyst, training and development specialist. Can anyone tell what the unique connection between all of them is? Business intelligence analyst, database architect, sales and marketing professionals, supply chain and logistics specialist. Let me go back. Big data specialist, data warehousing specialist, data engineers, data analysts and scientists. Can anyone tell what the connection between all of these amazing skills are? If you can just drop it in the chat section. Can you tell what is the connection between all of them? Okay, Mirabel, interesting. Okay, fantastic. Can anyone else? Okay, data. Okay, Bola is saying data as well. Amazing, interesting. Okay, I'm seeing data. Okay, Prince is saying data as well. Fantastic. Israel is saying data. Amazing, amazing. You're 100% correct. 8 out of 10. If you check what the fastest growing jobs are, the connection between all of them is data. And where you see data, you would usually see AI as well. So what that tells you is that if you master data skills, the ability to collect, to clean, to analyze and visualize data, and AI skills, which is the ability to use AI tools to automate and optimize processes, you're positioning yourself for the fastest growing job market in human history. And this is beyond following trends. Oh, everybody's talking about AI. Everyone is using Gemini. It's so cool. AI is so amazing. I'm talking about something that could change the trajectory of your life. The World Economic Forum is saying the same thing. McKinsey, LinkedIn, every major research institution on the planet is saying the same thing. Data plus AI equals the future of work. Now, I want you to look at the bottom of this chart. See these jobs that have the negative, just look at this here. So these are the roles that are declining. These roles are being automated away. Treasure, can you confirm that you can still see my screen? I think maybe I might have some. Treasure, are you here? Okay, let me just stop presenting. Okay, just give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. Thank you so much for waiting. I had a slight problem, but I think you should be able to see my screen again. If you can see my screen again, can you just send a thumbs up, please? Fantastic. Thank you, Treasure. Thank you, Uche. Okay, okay. So we're going to go back to this. Okay, fantastic. Now let's look at all of these jobs that are being automated away. I'm talking manual administrative jobs like survey researchers, client information and customer service workers, shop salesperson. All of these jobs that are administrative are being automated away. And this is because when you remove the human from the process and you use AI 100% to automate this, it's entirely possible to optimize the workflow. So what most of these companies, like for example, Amazon is doing, is saying, hey, if we take the person out of this, the process is still efficient. And then all we have to do is just get a really cool AI model and we've optimized this workflow. So one thing that you want to do is to stay relevant in this job market. And for you to stay relevant in the job market, you have to keep upskilling. And the one way that you can do this is to learn data and AI and then apply this in your role. So one uncomfortable truth is that if you're in one of these declining roles and you do not upskill, you're literally on sinking sand. Literally on sinking sand. So one question that I want you to ask yourself is 5 years from now, do you want to be on the left side of this chart, or do you want to be on the right side of this chart in administrative roles that are literally being automated away? We have some really cool innovations in industries these days, like self-checkout systems, jobs that would actually require people to stay at checkout stations and then they're scanning and they're helping you check out. And now you now have systems, AI systems that have automated this workflow. And when you hear about and when you read about these cool innovations in the news, what you usually think is, this is really cool, but how efficient is it? But one thing a lot of people do not realize is that what we have right now in AI is so much more efficient than what we had 3 years ago, than what we had 4 years ago. 5 years ago, if you asked an AI model to generate an image of you, it would come out looking very poor. But they've learned, they're analyzing, they're getting better each day. And because they're getting better, they're automating more and more workflows. So this is one reason why it is so critical that whatever it is that you're doing, that you start to think about, hey, how can I get into this AI and data market and tap into the opportunities that are there and waiting for me? So if this is something that you're thinking about, and I know that a lot of us here, that's the reason why we're here today, I'm going to show you how you can do it. But before we get into that, I just want to show you some quick data. How exactly did data become the big next thing or the next big thing? Now, back in 2010, something very interesting happened that changed the job market forever. A new technology emerged, and everyone was talking about it, saying, oh, what is this about? This is just one of those things, one of those cool trends that's going to go away in a while. And that new job or that new industry was called big data. Now, prior to this, we had lots of corporations, organizations that would be processing a lot of data, and it's very manual. But then technology began to evolve, and then nowadays people can take, back then, you could have like a very small device and then you could be able to load millions and millions of information on that small device. So naturally, everything began to change and big data followed. Big data went mainstream. And then companies began to realize that if they were sitting on mountains of customer information, they were sitting on information like sales, like data, operational metrics, and they had no idea what to do with it. And being able to analyze this information was critical to understanding what was moving the market and then making smart decisions. And that was when big data became a thing. Now, in 2011, McKinsey published a report declaring data the next frontier for innovation and competition. In 2012, Harvard Business Review, they wrote an article calling data scientists at the time, they called it the sexiest job of the 21st century. And for a lot of people, it was very funny because they were thinking, is this data? What's so amazing about it? You would watch all of these amazing AI movies. Like, I don't know who has watched them. There was this one that Will Smith was in. I think it's called iRobot or something. And you would watch movies like that and you think, yeah, this is not going to happen in this lifetime, but it's crazy because it's happening now. That was how it was back then. And between 2013 to 14, what was happening was that companies were scrambling to hire anyone who could make sense of their data, because from 2010 and upwards, they began to see how their competition, their competitors were moving the market because they had moved first. And then once they saw that this was working for them, it was working for their numbers, naturally, they started to ask themselves, how exactly can we get into this? And then what that resulted into in 2015 was a skills gap crisis. And up till now, that crisis still exists. And the reason is because data does not go away. Every single day, millions and millions and billions of data is being processed online. Just because we're here today and we're having this webinar, this meeting, and every single one of you are on this call, we're already processing a lot of data. Now think about how many other meetings or webinars like this that's going on around the world. That is millions and trillions of data, and this data is being processed every second, every minute, every hour. And this is one reason why this is not going to go out of style or out of trend anytime soon. Now, when the data revolution happened, there were two groups of people. There were the people I would call the skeptics, right? Like I said in the beginning, they were like, you know what? This is not going to be a thing. I don't have time right now. I'm very busy. All these boot camps are very expensive. I'll just watch the YouTube videos. And you know what happened to them? 6 years later, by 2018, they were competing for entry-level roles with fresh graduates because they realized too late that this was a thing. Now, the early movers, the people who recognized this opportunity back then in the market, after McKinsey declared data the next frontier, these people were already making big moves in the same industry. They had said to themselves, you know what, let me learn SQL. Let me learn Python. Let me build some projects and see where this goes. These people did not wait for permission. They did not wait for their company to require it, or the jobs that they were applying to require it before they began to upskill. They positioned themselves while the market was still open. And then just by virtue of us being here, analytics business, it's also proof that a group of people, of visionaries who had gone into data, realized that there was an opportunity in the market, and they started this just over 5 years ago. So it tells us that data is a thing and data will always be a thing. However, how early you move into it is 100% dependent on you. If you start now, you're going to become an expert in the next 1 year. In the next 2 years, you're already an expert. However, if you decide to start in 1 year, you're going to be competing in the market. And by then, because there's just a lot of people in there, your opportunities are going to reduce. So now we've seen the pattern when it comes to data. Let me show you why AI is now representing the exact opportunity. In 2022, ChatGPT was launched, and then AI went mainstream. Everyone was going crazy. Oh my goodness, there's a chat box, and I can say hi to it, and then it responds back to me. This was stuff that we had only seen in sci-fi movies. Like if you're a Marvel fan, this was stuff that we had only seen maybe like Tony Stark do. And now it was happening in real time. It was crazy. And then in 2023, companies began aggressive AI integration. Once ChatGPT launched, there was a surge of what we can call AI founders, because everyone realized, oh my goodness, the stuff that would take us days, hours to do, now we can actually build companies off AI. A lot of startups are being built off the back of companies like ChatGPT, or rather OpenAI. And it's crazy how this opens the market. But then in 2024, you know, the World Economic Forum declared AI skills critical. The World Economic Forum said, if you want to move forward in the market, you have to have AI skills. I'm not talking about being able to generate pictures of yourself, or, to send a message to Gemini or to ChatGPT and have a conversation, but real skills that actually move the market. Now it's 2025, and that is where you come in, because you are here. In 2026, what we're going to experience is an AI hiring surge by Q1. AI hiring surge, which means that if you want to take advantage of the market, if you want to be uniquely positioned for these opportunities, this is where you start now. Right now, 70% of AI roles are going unfilled because they don't have enough qualified candidates. But if you upskill right now, you can get in while the pay is still very high. Because what happens when supply cannot meet, or when demand and supply are not in agreement? What happens? And now you're able to get like higher payments, you're able to get higher salary bands, etc. But by the time a lot of people come in, and now having AI skills on that level is the norm, the salary that you can negotiate for in the market, it drastically reduces. So this is the best time for you to get in. So now I want to explain to you exactly how 10 Analytics can position you in the market. Over the last 5 years, we have developed a formula that has worked over and over and over again for thousands of students. We call it the learn, the package, and the apply formula. All of that equals to the job. All of that equals to the job. The learn, the package, and the apply formula. Now, this is one thing I really love about our model is, again, it's built off strong results. It's built off strong reviews. If you go on our LinkedIn page, if you go on our YouTube page, you're going to find lots and lots of videos on 10 Analytics, and you're going to find lots and lots of testimonials as well of people whose lives we have impacted. So, for example, this is Pavel, and he was a teacher in Cameroon before he moved into the US. And then he was thinking, you know what, I need to do something new. I need to do something new for myself. And then he joined our data analytics program, and then he landed a job as a healthcare data analyst in the US. Real results of people who have taken our learn, package, and apply formula and have accomplished results for themselves. And you're probably wondering, what is learn, what is package, what is apply? So learn is where you decide, so this is the skill I want to learn. I want to learn AI. I want to learn data, and you focus on it, you commit to it, and then you come out at the end of the day, a better professional because you went through that. And then the package aspect is where, so remember I asked a question earlier. I said portfolio, experience, interviews, and many of you went for portfolio and experience. So this learn aspect and the package aspect covers portfolio, it covers experience, because what you're going to be packaging in your portfolio is the experience that you build in 10 Analytics. And then when you have that, you can now start to apply to jobs. And then we're also going to teach you, give you the tools, give you the resources that you need so you can be a standout talent. I'm going to talk more about that as we go on. But when you apply this formula, you apply learn, you apply package, and then you apply LPA, what that would give you is the results that you're looking for, which is a job, or you upskill and then you maybe start your AI agency. But now we've spoken about all of these amazing, amazing opportunities, right? We've spoken about all of these AI automations. We've spoken about how data is changing the job market. We've spoken about a lot of things, but then you're probably wondering, how exactly can I find these jobs? That is a fantastic question, right? Where can I find these life-changing opportunities? Because by the time you put the work in and you actually learn these skills and you upskill, being able to find the opportunities is one thing. And then if you're thinking, oh, if you ask the average person, where do you go when you're looking for a job? What job board do you use? You hear things like, I use LinkedIn or I use Indeed. I think I mentioned that before. But then what a lot of people do not realize is just how huge the market is, how huge the opportunity is. A lot of times, the people who get these jobs, who get very fast responses, is because they are leveraging pools that do not have as much competition as saturated sites do. I would say sites like LinkedIn, like Indeed, they are very saturated. If you've applied for jobs before on LinkedIn, you know, there's a place where you can see how many people who have applied. You see like 100. First of all, that even kills your morale because you're already thinking, 100 people applied for this job. How in the world am I going to get in? But then it's a benefit to you in cases like that, because when everyone's focus is on saturated job boards, it means that there are other areas, other sections that are not getting as much attention. And this is part of what we teach you in 10 Analytics. We show you how you can use these hidden job boards to find access to opportunities that you otherwise would not have had access to. We also teach you how to use LinkedIn, but not in the way that you think. If you've ever gotten a message from a recruiter before for a job that you did not apply to on LinkedIn, then you know that you're doing something right. However, if you have not, then you really, really need 10 Analytics business in your life, because we're going to teach you how you can do this right. And then we also show you, I'm going to show you right now though, how you can use remote job boards. And there are quite a few of them, quite a lot of them outside of Indeed and outside of LinkedIn, like we work remotely, like remote.co, like Flex Jobs, and then you want to filter these job sites for the specific opportunities that you're looking for. So I'm just going to walk everyone quickly through some of these job opportunities. So for example, we've been talking about data. We've been talking about AI. Now, remember what I said before about how it is really your talent that sets you apart in the market. And also remember the statistics that I shared earlier. Over 3,000 people have been able to use this formula, the learn, the package, and the apply formula to actually get real results. Now, one thing I want you to know is that these companies that are hiring, that are paying in dollars, that are paying in $150, they're paying $150 annually, 200K annually, 75K annually, because if you're in Nigeria, that is also a lot of money. 50K annually is also a lot of money if you're in Nigeria. For these companies, many of them do not care about where you are. The only thing they care about is, can you work within our time zones? That is all they care about. If you can work within our time zones, fantastic. Now, for the people who have studied the job market, you will understand one critical thing. A lot of times, people would look into hiring, these companies would look into hiring talents that are offshore because it is cheaper for them. And in this case, this is also where there's a huge opportunity. We have companies like Andela who are exploding in the job market because they open the African pool to the global markets. And this is where your skills become critical, because in reality, what makes you stand out is your skills. And where you can offer these skills and show that you are the right person for the job, you would have access to this. You would gain access to all of these amazing, amazing opportunities. Now, when you go to job boards, like, for example, this is wellfound.com, there's quite a few. There's also built-in as well, but I'm in Nigeria right now. I think that I might be blocked here. Okay, interesting. I'm not. Okay, so when you come to job boards like this, I'm not sure how many people know built-in here. As a matter of fact, if you know built-in, can you just send, you can send a thumbs up to the chat section if you've heard about built-in. You can say a yes, or you can send a thumbs up, whichever one works for you. Have you heard about built-in? If you've heard about built-in, You can send a thumbs up, or you can just say yes in the chat section. Okay, I'm seeing thumbs up here. Amazing. Okay, anyone else? No one wants to be interactive anymore. Okay, James is saying no. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, interesting. All right, fantastic. I have not from Israel. Amazing. That's why we're here. So again, why that's also why I said that a lot of times you're looking for job opportunities, and what you're doing is you're exploring places where these jobs not exist, or where it would be very difficult for you to get a job. Now, this is an example of one. This is a remote opportunity for a senior data analyst, and this job opportunity is fully remote. This is workinstartups.com. You might want to take this down. If you haven't, it's called workinstartups.com, and this is something that you can go explore yourself. In case you missed this, you can always catch the replay on YouTube, just so you can check out all of these job sites I'm going to be sharing here today, which is another reason why you should also fill out the attendance form as well, so you can check out these job boards yourself and then go through some of these very interesting job listings that you're going to find here. So this is a job description for a senior data analyst. Now you see that when I first opened this, we're seeing a lot of data roles, a lot of data roles. This tells you that a lot of companies these days are very focused on data. They are very focused on business intelligence. Business intelligence is a huge category on its own, because it tells the company what is working and what isn't working. And as a professional, when you're able to apply a level of expertise to this, you will stand out, you will do amazing in the market. You're able to build amazing dashboards that help you stand out. So this is an example of a job description. And you can see here, for example, dashboards and reporting, right? Develop scalable reporting and automations that improves processes, reduces manual effort, and makes insights readily accessible. Now, this is part of what I was saying. For many of these businesses, if not all, what they're really all about is how do we improve our processes? How do we reduce manual effort? You see this? This is the goal, this section. Improve processes, reduce manual effort, and make insights readily accessible. If you can prove, if you can show that you have the skills for this, I'm telling you, the sky is the limit. All you have to do is prove that you have the skills. Now, in cases like this, when you're submitting your resume, a lot of people would probably, maybe you have like one resume and you're sending out like a generic application. Nobody is going to answer you. This is why when we talk about the package aspect of the LPA, which is the learn, the package, and the apply, the package aspect, there's a lot of emphasis on that. And that's part of what we teach you, how you can develop a portfolio to apply for a role like this. Now imagine that you're in Nigeria or you're in Ghana and you're earning between 60,000 to 65,000 pounds just in your country. You don't have to leave your house. All you have to do is just work from home, so long as you're able to align your working hours with their time zone. Now, this is a job that you would not necessarily go on LinkedIn or go on Indeed and find, and there are quite a lot of them. Some of them are not very popular, like work in startups. And then there's also Well-Found as well. If you go to Well-Found, you're going to find lots and lots of amazing opportunities that you can see here. Senior product manager, for example, AI agents. So this is another example of how roles that existed before, how AI is being applied in those roles. Now, people are saying things like, I don't want to hire a HR professional who doesn't know how to use AI. It is the bare minimum requirements these days for you to know how to use AI to automate processes, to improve insights, and to help the company and to help companies make faster decisions. For a job board like Built-in, you want to come in here and you want to type in maybe the job function that you're looking for. In this case, I'm just going to focus on data analyst. You can also come here, you can select, are you looking for a fully remote role? Do you want it to be hybrid, or do you want it to be on site? and then you search. Okay, so I'm in Nigeria, I'm being blocked. So another thing, guys, for some of these sites, when you want to access them, it would be great if you could turn on your VPN. But I'm going to tell you one thing, this is not going to be a blocker for you. And this is another reason why a portfolio is very important, because a portfolio is what positions you. A lot of people are applying and then they've got, a really amazing resume. I like to use something to illustrate resumes and portfolios, or CVs and portfolios. It's a show and tell. Your resume is more of a tell. Your resume is where you say, so I automated 85% of the processes, and I helped the company drive revenue up by 20% within the first or the third quarter or whatever. That is a tell. Your portfolio is the show. Your portfolio is how you show these companies what you did. Your portfolio is where you get to show off your amazing dashboards. Your portfolio is where you get to show off your amazing AI models. I'm also going to be playing a video for us very soon so we can see how one of our participants, someone who came into analytics business and learned how to build amazing models, was able to use this to change how he worked in his career. So if you're very serious about upskilling, these are amazing job boards that you want to gain access to, that you want to play around with, because there are lots and lots of amazing opportunities here. And then this is also another reason why I said you should fill out the attendance form that my colleagues are dropping in the chat section, so you gain access to the full slides and you can play around with this and check out some of these amazing job boards that we have put out for you. But then again, it doesn't just come down to that. It doesn't just come down to this slide and then you going to check out the logos and you having to copy these job boards and then go check it out on your own. Aside from that, we also offer you support. I'm going to tell you more about that. But before I get into it, I would love you to just take a look at some of these amazing testimonials that we have here. So one thing I would always say about Analytics is that we are 100% community driven. We're 100% goal driven, testimonial driven. And this is because what you find our model is really built on is results. When you go on YouTube, when you go on LinkedIn, you'll find lots and lots of testimonials of people who have done the same thing that we taught them, applied the formula, the LPA, and the results that they were able to drive in their careers. For example, Abigail, she had experience as a care worker in Canada, and she transitioned to business analysis after the training. This is what it also speaks to what I mentioned at the beginning of this session when I said that these transitions used to take people decades. It used to take decades to happen in the past. And now we're seeing transitions happen in months, because where else, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it was literally impossible for you to move from care work to business analysis. And that is part of what we give you at 10 Analytics. We give you that confidence. We give you the tools that you need to excel. Toyin was a pharmacist, and she also transitions to a benefits analyst. And today she works with the NHS in the UK. She got a full sponsorship for that, and she did this just 1 month after training with us. Now, another thing I always say is, it doesn't matter if you train for a month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You don't have to even wait that long before getting results. What really sets you apart is your commitment and your ability to execute, because execution at the end of the day is what sets the dreamers from the doers apart. For a lot of people, you hear this formula, they learn, the package, they apply, and you're thinking, yeah, it's pretty cool. I can learn this cool skill, and then you start and you stop. 2 weeks in, you're already tired. When you say, okay, apply for jobs, you say, oh, I just created one resume. I don't have to change my resume all the time. I'm tired. You don't want to do that. You're not going to get results. So these people that you see on the screen, from Gwenga, Nathaniel, Tony, Abigail, all of these people applies the LPA at its fullest capacity. And that was how they were able to get results. So when we talk about learn, like I said before, you want to focus on learning skills that are actually relevant today. like how you can use AI and how you can use data to drive your career forward, to gain access to better opportunities, to automate processes within your company, to drive innovation within your company. That is what you want to learn. You want to learn a skill that is in high demand, a skill that can make life easier for you. And then when you do that, the next step is for you to package. Package is how you show up in the market. Package is how you show up your portfolio, your resume. It's how you attend interviews. It's how you prep for interviews. It's how you show up, and then you apply as well. And then when you do that, that is when you get all of these amazing results that you're looking to get, which is an increased interview rate. And then finally, at the end of the day, while you're applying, because you want to get a job, so your end goal is an offer. Now, I want to talk about this amazing opportunity that we have for you in 10 Analytics, because you've heard all of the amazing things that AI is doing. You've heard about data. You've also seen some job boards that you can apply on, and you've seen just how much it's going for remote roles that you can do working from your house. And now the next step is, what exactly are you going to learn if you decide to take a chance on yourself today? What are your key learning areas? I'm going to tell you exactly why this specific program that we're looking at right now, which is the AI Automation Engineer, where you learn how to build large language model apps and AI agents, is very important. So it's something that you should be interested in. So when I say engineer, I don't mean you need a computer science degree. I remember I said this to someone before, and he said, wait, I'm not a technical person. I don't know tech stuff like that. What I mean is, by the end of this, you're going to be able to build things that companies will pay you six-figure to create. But then it's just you coming from a problem-solving perspective. You don't have to have a technical background for you to get into a track like this. This is where your commitment, your ability to learn, this is where it really applies. And because if you dedicate yourself to this, in the next 1 month, you're going to be building a very interesting apps and automating very, very cool things. So here's what you're going to master over the next couple of weeks. And I want you to notice something, right? Every single thing that you see here is a skill that companies are hiring for right now. First, the foundations of AI automation and large language models. So you're going to be learning exactly how AI actually works, not just surface level stuff, right? But we're going to be getting into the fundamentals of large language models like Claude, like Gemini, like ChatGPT. We're going to be teaching you how they process information, how they generate responses, and how you can harness them to solve business problems. You're also going to be learning prompt engineering, not surface level prompt engineering. If you're on Twitter, I know there's some really cool prompts that go around on Twitter, and you have to ask yourself, right, why is it that one person finds a really cool prompt and is giving them a specific result and they have to share it with everybody else? It's because if A uses ChatGPT and B uses ChatGPT, and the difference between A and B is that B understands on a fundamental level how AI models work. The kind of prompts that B would use is different from the kind of prompts that A would use. And because of this, the results that A and B would get are entirely different. And that is why it is very critical in this step that you understand prompt engineering, right? So you're going to be learning how to speak to AI in a way that gets you exactly what you need, whether that is generating reports, if it's writing code, if it's analyzing data. The part that I find very interesting here is that you're going to be building large language model powered apps. And this is very exciting, very exciting. You're going to build actual applications with document search, with memory systems, with RAG pipelines. You're going to be creating AI tools that can remember context. You're going to be creating AI tools that can answer questions like a human expert. And just think about it. Imagine if in the next 1 month, you create your first AI tool. And I remember how it was for me the first time I created my first AI tool. I shared it with everybody. I shared it with my friends, I shared it with my mom, with my dad, because I was incredibly proud of it, because this was something that you had to get a developer to build for you before. And you would say, oh, this is the vision in my head, and you would explain and you would explain. And now you can do it yourself so long as you apply yourself. And you can actually learn how to do it in months. You're also going to be learning advanced AI automation, which is learning how to build multi-agent systems. You're going to be learning how to deploy, how to monetize, and how to demo projects. So when I talk about AI voice agents, I want you to think about things like customer service bots, virtual assistants, automated phone systems, which is why sometimes a lot of people learn these skills so they can use that to start their own AI agency. Because when you're able to build something that actually works, something that there's this model that I was testing out recently with my team, and it changes the accent. You can talk in an Indian accent, in a UK accent, in with a French accent. But it was really interesting because it was doing what salespeople are supposed to do. So you just feed it data, you train it, and then you can call it, and then you can talk about it just like you're talking to Gemini or you're talking to ChatGPT. But the really cool thing about this is that it's people who built these systems and trained it, and you're going to be learning how to do really cool stuff like this. So part of the technologies that we're going to be covering here is tools like Flowwise. You're going to be learning how to use NA10. You're going to be learning how to use Chroma, Airtable, ChatGPT, of course. You're going to be learning how to use Claude, Gemini, Zapier, Twilio. You're going to learn how to use all of these amazing tools and create synergy. And in this case, you can now decide, do I want to use my tools in the job market and then go out and get myself a high-paying job? Or do I want to build my own AI agency? Because again, the sky is really the limit. Now, we also have other interesting tracks as well. We have generative AI for data analysts, and we also have generative AI for AI. We also have generative AI for HR analysts. Now, for generative AI for data analysts, the key learning areas that we're going to be focusing on here is foundations for generative AI for data analysts. So you're going to be learning very cool things like, and the very interesting thing here is like, you don't need 2 months to learn it. You don't need 3 months to learn it. All you need is 4 weeks and then a 1-week capstone project. That is all you need. And then before you know it, you're already an expert at this. So in something like this, you're going to be learning things like how AI can transform the way you analyze data, from automating data cleaning to generating insights in seconds instead of hours. So basically a data analyst on steroids. You're going to be learning tools for automation and AI agents. So imagine having AI assistants, that can pull data for you, that can clean your data, that can help you analyze it, or even write the reports for you. So the really cool thing about this is you're a data analyst, but when you are equipped with generative AI, you're a beast in the market. And when you go for job interviews and they see the beast-like portfolio that you have, or you walk them through one of these amazing models that you have developed, you're going to blow their minds. And I want you to think about how many people are in the job market who are actually data analysts, but do not have or are not equipped with the toolkits of generative AI and actually know how to use that to solve data analyst related problems. You're going to be learning tools like AI automation, which is building AI data analyst employees. You're going to be learning multi-agent systems for analytics, which is where multiple AI agents work together. One of them is pulling data, one is analyzing trends, and another is creating visualization. So a proper synergy between the AI tools that you're going to be developing. You're also going to be learning AI tools for every data analyst. So I'm talking about cutting edge AI tools that are making traditional analysts 10 times more productive. Tools that if you're a data analyst here, you probably do not even know exist because it's not available to the public. You're going to be learning AI for SQL mastery. And this is, you never have to, with something like this, you never have to write like a complex SQL query from scratch again. You're going to learn how to use AI to optimize, to generate, and to debug queries in real time. So this is, again, like I said before, data analyst on steroids. So with a toolkit like this, you're not just a data analyst, you're an AI powered data analyst, someone who can do in one day what it would take traditional analysts a week to do. And this is something that job hunters, that recruiters, that companies, organizations who are looking to automate their processes and to move 10 times faster in the market so they are more competitive. These are the skill sets that they are looking at. Now, the tools that you're going to be learning includes tools like Excel, AI, Excel with AI, Claude, Gemini, Copilot. You're going to be learning tools like Bricks, N8N, SQL, lots of really cool tools, every tool that is transforming the data industry right now. Now, let's talk about generative AI for HR analysts. Now, if you work in HR, you would know that talent management, recruitment, or just people operations in general is not an easy thing to do when you're managing lots of people, right? But then if you're equipped with generative AI as a HR analyst, you become a beast in your career path. It makes you the most strategic person in your organization because look here, you're going to be learning foundation of generative AI for HR analysts. So this is where you're going to be understanding things like how exactly is AI revolutionizing recruitment automation, employee engagement, workforce analytics. You're going to learn how to recruit faster, how to use AI to make hiring decisions in a way that does not make you rigid, but actually makes you a better HR analyst. You're going to be learning tools for automation and AI agents. So imagine automating your resume screening, your candidate outreach, your interview scheduling, your initial candidate assessment. That's what you're going to learn how to build. So when you go into job interviews, what you're going to be telling the employers or the recruiter is that I can make your process 20 times faster than it is right now. With my generative AI tools, I can help you find the right talent at a much faster rate than you would if you use traditional way to do it. You're also going to be learning prompt engineering for HR as well. So you're going to learn how to use AI to write job descriptions. Funny enough, I've come across a couple of very interesting job descriptions. Sometimes some of the people that I mentor will send me screenshots and we just laugh about it on jobs that they were applying to. And you use AI to generate it and we cannot tell that you used AI. But then, because of how, how when you send a message to to maybe chat GPT, for example, when it's responding, it would say something like, sure, I'll help you write the job description. And you just copy and paste the whole thing. It's very interesting, but yeah. And then sometimes, in many cases, the job description is also very generic. If you go to chat GPT and you say, please create a job description for a quality assurance specialist, and I go to chat GPT and I say, create a job description for a quality assurance specialist, what we're going to get is going to be very alike. So this is where prompt engineering comes in. That is when you're able to generate detailed job descriptions that actually fit what you are looking for. Now, for AI automations for workflow, you're going to learn how to build automated HR workflows. So as an HR, when you think about some of the craziest workflows you have to do, I'm thinking things like onboarding. I'm thinking things like performance review systems. I'm thinking things like employee engagement surveys. And you're going to learn how to build all of this powered by AI. So you're going to learn how to automate HR data workflows with N8N. You're going to learn how to use AI tools as a HR analyst. Again, AI for SQL in HR, and then you're also going to apply AI in HR and capstone projects. Now, this is why this matters, because for a lot of people, you might be thinking, Haba, this is really it's just HR. Why does it have to get so complex with AI? Again, this is also why I said in every role, if you're looking to remain relevant, data and AI are two key things that you need to learn how to apply so that you can run or you can go 10 times faster. And that is what companies are looking for today. But for HR specifically, this is a role that is becoming data driven. Because in as much as AI can automate a lot of processes, these companies are still being run by real people. And the HR professionals who understands how AI and data can apply to their jobs and how they can use that to, make decisions that can help them get the best talent, to retain the best talent, to provide support for the best talent. Those are the HR talents who are becoming chief people officers, VP of talent, strategic workforce planners, and people like this are commanding salaries of like 70K, 120K, 150K in dollars, But then the ones who do not, they are stuck doing administrative work that is being automated away. Now, if you look at the tech stack that you're going to be learning here, it includes things like Excel, you're going to be learning Claude, Gemini, Copilot, again, N8, N8N, you're going to be learning SQL, Power BI, Zebra AI, the exact stack that modern HR teams use. Now, I want you to notice something very important, right? All of these tracks cover things like foundations of generative AI. They cover things like automation and AI agents. They cover things like prompt engineering. They cover things like building AI systems, SQL, and all of that. And you're probably wondering why. So this is because whether you're in data, whether you're in HR, or whether you're in AI, the underlying principle is the same. AI does not replace you, or rather, it should not replace you. It should make you a superhuman. So you're not competing with AI. You are learning how to command it, how to direct it, and how to use it to do the work that would normally take 10 people. So now let's look at your class schedule again. So for your classes, it happens every Saturday. That is when you have your live classes, and that happens in the morning between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that is also in EU, UK, and African time zones as well. And then we also have live classes as well on Sundays in the afternoon between 2 p.m., 5 p.m. and that is also in the EU, UK, and African time zones. Again, you get 4 weeks of learning for each of this. This is generative AI. This is AI automation engineering. You also get 4 weeks of learning, 1 week for your capstone project. So this is 6 hours per week. And everything is recorded, so you can get to work on these projects at your own pace. So the reality is, whether you choose data, you choose HR, you choose AI automation, the commitment at the end of the day is the same. The structure is the same. The outcome is the same. The outcome is that you leave analytics business with a killer portfolio that can get you hired. And whether that is getting you hired for a job, or whether that is getting you, maybe you're using your portfolio to set up your own AI agency, whatever it is, the most important thing is that you are getting ROI for your spend. Now, another thing that you're probably thinking is, which one is the best one for me? You're asking yourself, is it generative AI for data analysts? Is it generative AI for data analysts? Which one should I go with? The reality is, if you're interested in data, or if you want to work with data, if you like analytics, business intelligence, or maybe data science, or you're interested in automating data workflows in general, then you should be looking at data analysts, business intelligence analyst, analytics engineer, or data scientist. And this is your best track to get started. And you want to go for generative AI for HR analysts if you're interested in people, in recruitment, in people ops, you want to go for that. If you're looking for something more general, something that doesn't box you in, then you want to go for AI automation engineer. But I hope that as we go forward, you're already making up your mind, because the honest truth is that you can't choose wrong. Every track is in high demand, and they all lead to 6-figure careers, and both 3 of them actually give you superpowers. So the question is not which one is better, it's which one fits my personality and where I want to go. So whatever it is that you decide to choose, at the end of the day, the only thing you should be considering here is the time that it takes for you to get into it. Now I'm wrapping up, so if you have questions, you can start preparing your questions for me. Another thing that we also offer you as well is employability skills, because it is one thing for you to learn the skill, it is another thing for you to package yourself in the market. And what does packaging yourself mean? It means a CV review and revamp. So how updated is your CV that you're using to apply for these jobs? LinkedIn optimization. How updated is your LinkedIn? If you're applying for jobs and you want to ensure that your LinkedIn is optimized so that the people that you're applying for this job, when they come to your LinkedIn, they're impressed. Or in many cases, they don't even have to search before they find you. We also assist you with navigating the job market, especially if you're transitioning into a new career, because it can be very overwhelming. We assist you with interview preparation as well. It's a lot for some people to be in an interview and to talk about things that they've done. I've been in interviews where I've seen really smart people, and it's like the cat's got their tongue, and they can't talk about what they've done or all the amazing things that are in their portfolio or their resume. So this is a very critical aspect for some people. We also provide you as well with job reference letter. So if this is something that you're interested in, and for people who are transitioning into a new career path, they usually require job references. And then another very interesting thing is on the job support. So this is where you've already transitioned into the job, you have gotten the job, you're collecting the money already, and then you need support. We actually had a couple of cases, with people who would come back and say, hey, I need support with this tool. I don't know how to use it. And there's a specific workflow that my company needs. Can you help me? And in cases like that, we would just get our consultants on the call with those people. And sometimes we spend weeks, we spend days, helping out our previous or our alumni, the people who have passed through our doors or our walls. But again, like I said in the beginning, the goal for us is, do you get a job? And then when you get that job, we also want to help you keep it. So beyond upskilling, it is also how well you do in the job market. And then we also provide weekly mentorship sessions as well. This is critical for people who are transitioning. So you need that support, and that is something that we provide you with. Upwork and Fiverr optimization for people who are looking into maybe going out and starting their own thing. You want to start your own AI agency. This is something that you'd be very interested in, because with this, you can validate your ideas and start building a market base or a client base before you dive in, full time into it. So that's just one aspect of it. Now, we've got lots of amazing people who have used the LPA to achieve amazing results. Bukola is one of them, and Bukola got 2 jobs after completing our business analysis program, which is why her story is actually a standout. She got 2 remote jobs, and she did this, she got her first job, her first month of joining. And this is why, again, I always say that it doesn't matter if you spend 1 week in the program, if you spend 2 weeks, a month, 6 months. What really sets you apart from everybody else is your ability to execute. It is how dedicated you are to drive results in the market. Now, one of the amazing testimonials that I always love to talk about is Judith. This is because Judith was a carer, and then she transitioned and she joined Analytics, and then 3 months later she got a job, which was in July 2024, and she's working remotely. But then Judith, if you've been in some of my sessions, I always share Judith's story. But this is just one of the cases where, and this is one of the thousands of people that Analytics has taken from a previous industry to a completely new industry, and then provided them with the support that they needed. So if you're here today and you're thinking, this is new for me, I've never done this before, I'm confused, where am I going to start from? You don't have to worry about it. That's why we're here. We're going to hold your hands, and we're going to guide you through the process, just like we've helped out over 3,000 people. But the main thing is you have to start now. You have to start now. So if it is a job that you're looking for, if it is an AI agency that you are looking to start, one thing everybody wants to know is, are you the right person for the job? And this kind of, it falls under the package aspect as well. Are you the right person for the job? That is what they want to know. If I hire you in my company, can you deliver? If I give you my project, because maybe you run an AI agency, how efficient are the models that you've developed? So people are going to hire you, people are going to want to work with you because of how efficient you are, because of the results that you can drive. So keep that in mind. So I'm thinking, and I hope that you're also thinking with me, when can I start? Today is probably the question on your mind. Right now that you've seen all of these amazing tracks and you've seen how you can apply this in your career, and you've seen what the demands for these jobs look like and what people are paying for people who can actually use these tools, who can stand out in the market using data and using AI. And I hope that that's put things into perspective for you on how you can go from where you are right now in your career to where you need to be. So we have a new cohort that started today, 11th October. All cohorts for all three programs actually started today. However, you can still join in with a late registration if you're ready. And like I said like I said before, if you start today, by November, you're going to be done. You're going to be ready for the market as the hiring rush in the first quarter of 2026 kicks off. Your profile is going to be one of the most competitive profiles out there in the market. So the people who enroll today, they're going to be the ones who are getting job offers in January. They're going to be the ones who are posting their reviews and their testimonials on LinkedIn and saying, hey, I got a job that pays 85K and I work in Lagos. Hey, I got a job that pays 100K and I work in Kenya. So if you start today, you could literally be one of those people. So now you've seen the opportunity, you've seen the data, you've seen what happens if you wait. If you remember what I shared earlier on how the data rush started and now how AI is revolutionizing the work industry. And you've also seen our programs as well, and you've seen what you can build from AI automation engineer, which is where you learn how to build large language model apps and AI agents, to generative AI for data analysts, and then to generative AI for HR analysts. So you've seen how you can apply all of this to improve your workflow. And the next question is, hey, when can I start? At least I'm hoping. So now here's the most important aspect of this. And I want you to remember this for those who are not making payments right now. The full investment for each program is 200,000 Naira. You can see here, AI automation, generative AI for data analysts, and then generative AI for HR analysts, 200,000. However, you get a discounted amount of 150 for the first one, and then you get a discounted amount for 100,000 for generative AI for data analysts, and then you also get a discounted amount as well for generative AI for HR analysts. Now, before you react to this number, right, let me put things into perspective for you. The first thing is that you're getting 4 weeks of instruction from experts who have worked at, companies like Apple, like Microsoft, like McKinsey, like Amazon. The second value, and I'm talking for every single track, 1, 2, 3. The second value is that you're going to be building portfolio projects that actually prove that you can do the job. Projects that would normally cost, thousands for you to build. If you hired someone to build them for you, it would probably cost you millions actually in reality. And you're going to be doing this yourself, and it's going to be in your portfolio that you can use to show off to recruiters to say, hey, I can do this in your company. And then 3, you're going to be getting job placement support, which is resume reviews. You're going to be getting LinkedIn optimization. You're going to be getting interview coaching services. You're going to be getting access to our career coaches. And all of this you're getting for this discounted rate of 150, of 100 and 100,000 for the two courses for data and HR analysts. You're positioning yourself to land roles that pay between 70K to 130K per year. And if you're in Nigeria, that's like 45 million to 85 million naira per year, depending on the exchange rates, right? So it's 200,000 at normal price for you to unlock access to 45 million naira minimum, or 85 million naira per year. Now imagine, I mean, for those who are big on numbers, you can do the math there and see just how much ROI you're getting for that first level of investment. And I don't think you should qualify it as an expense, right? It's like the best investment that you can make in yourself. Now, this is where it gets even better. We're also offering a limited time discount for the first 20 people, who enroll from this masterclass. And you might be asking, why are we doing that for only 20 people? And this is because we cap our cohort sizes to ensure quality mentorship. We don't want a situation where, there are just a lot of people and then we're unable to provide you with the quality that you need. So if you're one of these first 20 people, you're going to be getting access to this discount, and your learning is also going to be prioritized as well. So we want to also reward early movers, so those who wait, those who overthink it, those who do not see the opportunity and do not act right now. You're going to be paying the normal price eventually when you do decide to circle back and take a chance on yourself. So AI automation engineer, generative AI for data analysts, generative AI for HR analysts, you will be getting this at a discounted amount. So now what I want you to do is I want you to take a screenshot of this account details, or you can just put that into your bank app right now if you've made up your minds to get started today, which is honestly one of the best decisions that you can make. Now, another thing here is focus on this aspect. If you decide to pay 50% today, you can still pay your balance 2 weeks into the session. So what we're saying is you pay 50% today and you pay the balance 2 weeks into the session. So it means that you get to start now and then you get to see the value. And then once you've seen the value and you've decided, hey, this is something really amazing, and this is something that I really want for myself, I would like to complete it, then you can make your full payment. You can pay the rest 2 weeks into the session. So we're not asking you to bet your entire savings on something that you have not experienced yet. What we're saying is put down half, start learning, see the results, and then you pay the rest. That is how confident we are that you see value immediately. So now what do you do to reserve your spot? First thing is take a screenshot of the account details that's displaying on your screen. And then my colleagues are also dropping a link in the chat section as well that you can use to, just a minute. My colleagues are dropping a link in the chat section as well that you can use to just go make your payment straight up. I'm just going to show you what that form looks like here. So once you do that, you're going to get access to this form. Yes, my colleagues, thank you, Jaina, for sharing that in the chat section. So you come here and you fill out the form. You fill out the form by inputting your email here, your full name, your phone number, your job title, what your preferred training is. Remember all of the courses that we just walked through, your skill set, if you're registering for just yourself or maybe for more people. Okay, Shadrach, he said you can't hear me. Counselor Treasure Uche, can anyone hear me, please? Oh, fantastic. Okay. And then you also, how you heard about us, and then this is your payment instruction as well, just in case you missed it. And then you upload your proof of payment here. And voila, you're fully enrolled in the program. So this is not something for you to overthink, guys. Click on that link and take a chance on yourself today. Because again, like I said before, and like I've emphasized lots and lots of times, it is the people who move fast in the markets today who are going to be the winners at the end of the day. Remember how affiliate marketing started back then. I don't know if any of you saw affiliate marketing back then, when the trend was going on and we had lots of cool tools like ClickBank or even Bitcoin, as a matter of fact. You know how many people have said things like, if I had known back then, I would have joined the Bitcoin movement and I would have made a lot of money from it. So this is an opportunity that is literally just like that. AI and data, and this is the best time for you to get started, into it. Uh, Now, what you need to realize is that this discount is not going to last. Again, the first 20 people. So if you're sitting here, you're thinking, I'll decide tomorrow, let me sleep on it. By the time you come back, the discounts might be gone. And then instead of paying 150,000, you're paying 200,000. Or instead of paying 100,000, you're now paying 200,000, right? So I'm not trying to pressure you, but acting today saves you money and waiting costs you money. It's that simple. I'm just going to go back here and just show you guys quickly that if you cannot join the cohort that started today, 11th October, for a late registration, you can also join the next cohort, which is the 8th of November, 2025. But whatever that looks like for you, your goal should be locking down your upskilling in AI and data this year. That should be your goal, to lock it down. Now, I'm just going to paint one final picture for you before we call it a day, right? It's January 2026, right? For those of you who like to imagine, I would love you to imagine with me, right? One final picture before we take questions. It's January 2026. It's Q1. And the hiring wave is in full swing. You're sitting at your desk, and maybe you're at your favorite coffee shop. Maybe you like to work there because you just like the ambience, you like everywhere, and you don't like to stay home. Maybe you're working remotely and you're on a Zoom call with a recruiter from a UK company, and they're looking at your portfolio and they've seen the AI projects that you've used, they've seen the automation systems, they're seeing the data dashboards, the large language model powered apps, and they're saying, wow, this is amazing, and then they're asking you, when can you start? And then you tell them, I can start in 2 weeks, and maybe your salary is 85,000 annually and the job is fully remote, flexible hours, you get equity options, it's life-changing money. And you're just sitting there and you're thinking, I almost didn't do this. I almost waited and I almost let fear and overthinking stop me. And I was thinking, yeah, this is what everybody says. Everybody is saying data and AI, but the truth is that you did not. You acted. You took action, you invested 50,000 or 75,000 or 150 or 100,000 today, and it unlocked for you a 45 million minimum opportunity per year. So that is the decision that you're making here today, not 200,000, not 50,000, not 75,000. The decision you're making today is, do I want to be in a position where I can take over these opportunities? Do I want to be that person in a Zoom interview in January, or the person who is just watching these people or other people gets the offer? So don't forget to click the link that my colleagues are dropping in the chat section, so you can gain access to all of these amazing opportunities that I've shared here with you today. So just one more thing before we wrap it up. Analytics got into the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity program, and that was in October 2024, and you can read the article if you have filled out the attendance form, so you'll be getting access to read all of the amazing things that Tenalytics is doing in the ed tech space. So this is just one more layer to assure you that you are in the right hands. Trust me, there's no one better to hold your hands and to take you through this next path, this next direction in your career. So what happens next? I hope that everyone here is taking action and locking down their spots today. Do we have any questions before we call it a day? Does anyone have any questions? I can take your questions if you do, or you can drop it in the chat section and I can quickly look at it. I'm just going to scroll up to see if we have any questions. If you have a question for me, you can raise your hands and I will take it. Maybe you're not sure this is the right move for your career. Maybe you have questions, maybe you're not sure which track is best for you. Maybe you're thinking, do I go for data analysts? Do I go for automation? Do I go for HR? Which one is the best one for me? Which one positions me uniquely in the market? Okay, fantastic. Adeola, you've got a question. Okay. Do you want to, let me see if I can unmute you so you can speak. Okay. Can you unmute your mic, please? Poinsala Uche, please allow Adeola unmute her mic so she can ask a question. Adeola, are you there? I can't see your hands anymore.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. So my question
Fantastic.
is simply to know the difference. For example, I would like to take to jump on this opportunity right now, but I am confused as to choosing between the two the AI courses. I mean, the one that has to do with, let me see, the one on there's this particular one on automotive AI engineer and generative AI for data analyst. Yeah, I've been into data analytics, but I did a course with analytics. This was in code 7, and I like to do an AI course to improve on that. Actually, I'm thinking of this automotive AI engineering, but I need to understand deeper what um, which is preferable for me.
Okay. Fantastic question. Fantastic question, Ateola. So you mentioned that you took a data analyst course with Tenalytics earlier. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Are you currently practicing?
Yes.
Okay. So since you're already a data analyst, what I would actually suggest for you is to go with generative AI for data analysts, because you already have the skill set for it. And then this just gives you one more tool in your arsenal, and not just any tool, it's a really powerful tool that you get to add to your arsenal, which is you get to take your data skills right now from where it is to the next level using generative AI. With automation engineering, it's a completely different level. It's more generic. Data analyst, generative AI for data analyst is focused on your career path. So if you're looking at branching out, maybe experimenting, then you can go for AI automation engineering. However, if data analyst is something that you're 100% locked into, then you want to learn how you can make your workflow better as a data analyst and how you can stand out in the market. In a market of data analysts, the one who is equipped with generative AI is a standout, unique talent. So I would actually suggest that you go for generative AI for data analysts. However, again, if you're looking at coming at it from a more general perspective and having a wholesome understanding of AI as a whole, this is what people who want to build AI agencies typically go for. It can give you the skills to build AI agents, or develop AI workflows for data analytics. It cuts across every industry because it gives you the basics without narrowing down your tools or your skills to a specific industry. So if you want to come at it from a general perspective, you can go for this. However, if you want to narrow it down to what you currently do, then you go for generative AI for data analysts. So which one are you leaning towards?
Well, maybe for now, let me just go with generative AI
Okay,
for data
generative AI.
for
Okay,
data. Yeah.
okay, fantastic. I hope that you have locked down your spot, Adiola. I like the fact that you've already made up your mind on which one you're going for.
Trying to
Fantastic.
do that.
You're trying to.
I was supposed to start today actually, but I had issue with my laptop, and it wouldn't really make any sense to be in a class and not be able to go along with whatever is happening in the class. So
Mhm,
I
that is
think
correct.
it's another opportunity. I hope. Okay, if I lock in now, that means I'm joining tomorrow, right?
That is correct. Yes. So you're basically you're starting the October cohort. So it's a late registration. Yes.
Okay, so what happens to what was done today? How am I going to be able to get that?
Oh, today was onboarding, and for late registrations, you will also be onboarded as well. So nothing has really started. Today was just onboarding. So all you do is you catch up with the class, you get onboarded, and that's why it's critical that if you're looking to start the October cohort, that you actually lock it down today so that you're ready to get started immediately. Because all the class days today was just it just got onboarded, and then we'll be doing the same thing for you as well, so you're not missing anything.
It's all right. Take it.
Thank you, Adiola. Okay, Miracle, I can see you have your hands up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lola. I really appreciate what you shared this evening. It's really educating. My question is, um, because of some financial constraint, I can't be able to join this month. I'm looking at 8th November. Would it still be a discount for us by then, or is it gonna be late entry? I don't know.
Mm. So what I can't say for sure, Miracle, is if there would be a discount in November. I can't say, but you never know. We just might have a discount in November, but it would be difficult to say. I don't want to make promises and then, we're unable to keep that. So it really depends. For people who are interested in business analysis, it depends on how the business moves. What would be looking at things like how we can, at the end of the day, the goal is to help as many people as possible upskill. So we probably might look into that, but I can't say for sure. So if there's
Okay.
a way you can lock down, although I do understand the financial constraints, that's also why we provided an opportunity for you to pay a discount. So you don't have to pay the full amount now. You can lock down 50,000, 75,000
Okay.
to get started. Yes,
Thank you very much. I appreciate.
you're welcome, Miracle. Looking forward to seeing you in class.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Asida. I see the Patrick. I hope I didn't murder your name. I see that if you're speaking, you're muted. Hello, I see that. Are you there? Okay. Um, okay, I think you should be able to unmute yourself. Okay. I'm just going to take other people's questions. Naimeka, I can see you're the next person with your hands up. Can you unmute yourself? Naimeka, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, so I don't know the particular one I should transition into. I'm a
Mm,
registered nurse, a practitioner nurse. So I really want to transition into tech, but I'm somehow confused. So I don't know the one that will fit me. So let me ask. I don't know whether I should go into AI automation and engineering, or I should go to AI data generative or something like that. So I don't really know the one that will fit me. Thank
mm.
you.
That is a great question, Naimeka. I have a question for you. Would you consider yourself a people person?
Not really.
Oh, I asked because you're a nurse. Okay, interesting. It's a very interesting personality, not being a people person and then being a nurse. So in that